What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Raptor Spiritus, and I am back with another one. So as we all know, it's been a few days since 4.3.2 has dropped, and this is the new event that we are doing. And they have a couple prizes, almost like the Race for Stanton that they had. So it's basically going to be the same situation where you guys are doing missions to get points to go up in the tier rank, so you can win some sort of prize at the end. It's not super crazy like the Race of Stanton was, because the Race of Stanton had I think 4 different tiers, or more, or 5. I can't remember. They had a lot, because you could win just regular onesie type zip up suit for people who you work in a cargo area or at a dock. Then you had the armor for that particular corporation. Then you would have ship paints and a gun, and then I think a final one was a ship paint with a parallax or something. So this one is kind of similar, but it's gonna have 3 tiers, which are ran each week. So the last week just finished, the second week is starting, and then there's gonna be the 3rd week. I do believe they're called, let me check right here. Yeah, phase 1 is recon, phase 2 is siege, and then phase 3 is the takedown. So looking at here, it says we are where we stand. While Amelia Boyd has remained at large, chaos has reigned in Pyro, with the social-minded citizens for prosperity battling to keep residents safe, and the criminally inclined headhunters vying for blood. The Frontier Fighters took another massive step in their extreme grab for power when they stole an RSI Polaris, a combat-focused capital ship, from the UEE's Invictus Launch Week Expo earlier this year. So I'll say this again, CIG has a bad habit of rinsing and repeating. I really hope they stop doing this and come up with something new. This takedown the Polaris stuff is really kind of getting annoying. I know with Nyx they have a new mission thing that's coming out where you have to basically siege a space station, which is pretty cool. But you have to do a bunch of stuff to actually get into it first, so it's basically like a Star Wars fight on the outside to bring down the power so you can get inside and then do whatever. So yeah, this always stealing a Polaris, stealing an interesting, they need to stop this. They need to find, maybe, I don't care if CIG has to make some other capital ships or big ships that are from somewhere, and just let that be what you take down. But this makes the UEE seem like they're stupid, they're just they keep losing Polarises and stuff. That's crazy. So I don't know about y'all, but I've never seen where the United States or any major country has lost a destroyer randomly. They just oh yeah, these rebel people stole a destroyer. Who does that? That's crazy. So yeah, they need to stop doing that. That doesn't make sense for them to be able to steal Polarises and shit constantly. So, most wanted, Amelia Boyd, leader and mastermind of the Frontier Fighters, which many citizens have labeled a terrorist organization. Her radical goal of authoritarian intervention in Pyro led to the numerous attacks on Stanton in late 2954 under the guise of the Slicers. I remember, this is, I guess, where they were disguising themselves as Slicers, but it was really their freedom fighters, or whatever, Frontier Fighters. She remains at large, and her whereabouts are unknown, which is this chick right here. She seems dangerous. Watch out for her. But hopefully with the Polaris is more disable it, get on board, and take her out. So we'll see how that goes. So when you start doing the missions, you'll see a lot for the first portion of it. This is pretty much all you're doing. You're looking for these data pads, and you got to take them to a space station and drop them off. I tried to make a video of this, but the one that pays the most, which is 71, I do believe each one pays a different amount of points towards the tier ranking. I think the 71 pays 10 is from what I heard, but that mission before they had a patch last night. That mission didn't work because you would get the data pad, but it wouldn't get past the collection portion of it, even though you had it on you. So hopefully they fixed that. So yeah, you will collect the data pads for the recon, and then like I said, this week is the siege portion of it. So we'll see what that's about, and I'm pretty sure they'll have something come up. Let's see. The fate of the Frontier. kill or capture. As the factions of Pyro prepare to take on the frontier fighters themselves, they're rallying for volunteers to join their desperate agendas, gather intel, sabotage the opposition, and hunt down the stolen Polaris to put an end to the looming threat of Amelia Boyd's next disastrous attack. So you can choose either side. You can choose to do to work with the Citizens of Prosperity or the frontier fighters, which is pretty cool. So I don't know what the outcome is for the frontier fighters, but we'll see. And these are basically the prizes with the tiers that you can get, and we will take a quick look at them. Sorry, I was trying to find the screen. So here is the first one. So this is phase 1. Now, me personally, I like the gear of the Citizens for Prosperity. Personally, I do, just because I think that it just looks more like SWAT team, looks more like policing, versus the frontier fighters look like a bunch of punks, rocking this like helmet. It looks like something from, I think there was a character in He-Man, the original series from the 80s, that looked like they was wearing a helmet like this where you barely show their face. I'm not a fan of this, so they can go kick rocks. I prefer the Citizen for Prosperity's tier 1, so that's what I'm going for personally. That's what I'm doing. And then the Siege, the next paint thing or next prize is a paint for the MTC. Again, if you see, the Citizens of Prosperity is more military, is very low key as far as the scheme. The Frontier Fighters have like this graffiti type situation going on. I'm not a fan of that. And then lastly, this one. Lastly, we have the paints for the Spirit or the Arrowhead. Again, Citizen of Prosperity, I personally like the way this looks. I'm a fan of their paint. It looks almost like it's a greenish, like a military green color. I dig it. I'm here for it. And I love, in my opinion, the Spirits look better in dark colors. That's my opinion. Whenever we did the Brace for Stanton, I purposely did the Hurston mission only because I wanted that kind of dark black. It was kind of blackish, but it's kind of an off black. But I wanted that paint. That's all I wanted. So, yeah, the Spirits just look so much better. I got the A1, so it comes stock black. I think it looks better this way, personally. So I'm going for this military green paint for sure. The Frontier Fighters, like I said, it looks like someone from the 80s got a hold of these ships and is tagging the side and whatnot with these purple, pinkish, violet color with the black. Like I said, it's cool if you like chaos and whatever. If that's your vibe. I personally like the more clean, disciplined type of military, like SWAT police force type paints and vibes. So like I said, I'm going for Citizen Prosperity. Are you guys going for that? Or are you guys gonna go for the Frontier Fighters because you guys are rad, like to throw down, bro? So let me know in the comments what you guys are gonna do. I'm looking forward to this. I started it, but again, some of the missions were not working. So hopefully that patch last night fixed that problem. There's a couple of the problems going on with the patch with cargo and whatnot. I tried to do a commodities and try to sell. I went and got some stuff, tried to sell it over in Orson, and it is not working. It is not seeing the cargo whatsoever. It's super annoying, but it is what it is. I know these are gonna happen. I really wish they would just be able to fix stuff and they stay fixed between patches. So, but that's all I got today. It's your boy Raptor Spirit. You guys stay safe out there, and I will see you in the verse.